Aries, hello, welcome. This is your November 2020 general reading, Sun, Moon, Rising and Ascending. Remember, you also want to look, if there's communication trouble, you also want to look at your Mercury, which is communication, or your Venus for love. And if you don't know what those are, there's a link down below in the description that explains those things to you. Okay. We're going to have a look at your reading. Remember, as I said, it is a general reading. For those of you that always support me, I'd like to thank you. And if you're new to the channel, I'd really like to welcome you to the channel. My name is Adrian. I'm an intuitive healer. I practice holistic wellness and also do spiritual regression hypnosis. Okay, so just going to draw you some cards from the beautiful OSHO deck, which I haven't used in months and months and months and months. Not for personal readings, not for YouTube, not for Facebook, not for Instagram, not for any of those things. So I'm quite excited to do it, to use it for you in this particular reading, to see what we've got for you for November 2020. Remember to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, hit that notification bell. I'm not doing the readings as often as I used to do them before. Oh, that's beautiful. Just because I don't have the time to do them, and I only really want to do a reading for you if I'm able to give you my absolute best. Lovely stuff. So we're looking at the recent past and really what brought you to where you currently are. Alrighty, so nice. Okay, that's way too many cards, like a whole handful of cards. Let's put those back. And if you need some beautiful graphic design work done on social media management, you can also contact AC Digital Marketing Solutions. It's my best friend who does all my beautiful work, and you can contact her directly. The link is down below in the description. Okay, so the overall energy that I have for you, Aries, is healing. Okay, this is heart healing. This is the heart chakra opening, and in a sense, this is really life alignment, you know. But it's always very good to understand why your life is aligning, and you know, this is a point that you brought yourself to. This is a point that you brought yourself through, to the inner work that you've done, through some really difficult decisions that you needed to make. You know, maybe stepping away from certain things, taking some risk, sort of stepping out of that comfort zone, you know, going against maybe some opinions that didn't make you all that popular. It is about having actually taken those steps and having, you know, been brave enough to actually take those steps, and actually tenacious enough to follow through with them, you know. Whilst everybody might not have agreed with your decisions, I feel that there might have been a bit of a sense of disappointment that was going on from your side, maybe, you know, where you sort of expected better support than, you know, than what you actually received. So it might have been a little bit of a tough one there to deal with for you. But, you know, here you are, and I feel these things are beginning to pay off, and some people actually realizing that they may have been wrong about you, you know, about your choices. Maybe they didn't understand them at the time. And sometimes when people, you know, especially when they really love us, they sort of say things and do things, you know, because sometimes it's also like a it could be experiences overbearing, but it could be a protective mechanism where they believe that you're doing something wrong and they try to protect you from yourself in a sense. But yeah, you are, and things are beginning to clear out. So if there were some hurdles that needed to be overcome, and, you know, some challenging situations and stuff like that, they're working out, which is beautiful. All right, so let's look at your recent past, what brought you to where you currently are. Laziness. Now, this is, you know, I really love this deck, but I feel that this particular naming for this card is probably about the worst name. You know, if I had to speak to Osho at the time, I'd be like, you might want to go with a different word, but we're going to speak with it. So we're going to speak about that, okay? And then you've got outsider, the outsider, and we've got silence. All right. And then for your current energy, we've got possibilities. Right in the middle of your reading, we've got patience, and also very much in line with what's happening for you overall at the moment, we've got receptivity. That is your current energy, and then what's coming towards you, the immediate future, there is guilt. Again, I don't really quite agree with the wording. Consciousness and rebirth. All right. So what we are looking here at the moment, this is Aries. Some of you realized that it was sort of time to leave some of the crazy behind. You know, some of you you're a little bit on a mad trip there, you really, you know. And some of you really realize that, you know, you have to sort of enjoy the delicacies of life, you know. In fact, you know, with that card, that laziness card, it's like you realize that you gotta kind of give yourself a break, you know. You, for many of you, you realize, you know, that you have to be more kind towards yourself, that it's okay to make a mistake, it's okay to not have known everything that you needed to do, you know. There was a lot of sort of reflection, in a sense, coming face to face with things that were not, you know, that didn't work out. Maybe, you know, some past disappointments and life disappointments and being let down, and, you know, stuff that you missed out on, mistakes that you made, and all those type of things. So you were very much sort of brought face to face with that, you know, and there was a lot of going inside that needed to be done, like, you know. And I feel for many of you, you sort of went through that very difficult period that we go through sometimes, when we sort of you know, having like a spiritual awakening. You know, it can be a very confusing period, because I think we're sorry, I think where a lot of times, you know, we think it's this very sort of, you know, euphoric sort of, you know, fireworks, and soft candlelight experience. It's very much the opposite, because you're getting confronted with the things that are not really working out for you. You know, you are being shown the things that are holding you back, the things that are in contradiction with where you'd like to be and where you'd like to go with your life. So it can be very, very challenging, but it's, you know, and I love this, because what I see is that, it's, how do I put this? It's almost like, you need to know, you know, as I always advocate, you need to know the things that are holding you back. And for many of you, you know, it's like those past sort of demons, and maybe a lot of pain and a lot of unhappiness that you were carrying within you. Instead of sort of trying to, you know, to cover that up, you know, be it with bad relationships, be it with overworking, be it with victim mode, be it with narcotics, be it with whatever, you know, self-sabotage, whatever it is, you sort of came to a point where you realized that, you know, I can't do this to myself anymore. And I feel that for many of you, you know, for the first time in your life, you allowed yourself to feel the impact of the pain, to understand what it is that you're really going through, and what it is that you're really feeling, you know, and what those actual emotions are, and how they actually feel. And it's when we feel it, instead of trying to run away from it, instead of trying to put a plaster on it, that is when we actually, in you know, in my sort of experience, that is how you get through that other space, where instead of trying to sort of build up these walls around you to protect yourself from the pain, you say, okay, so this is the pain, and you sort of move through the barrier, you know. And you get to where you are at the moment, where, I feel for some of you, for many of you, in fact, there was quite a lot of sort of self-sabotage going on here, you know, and you may have called it many, many different things. You would have called it moving to a different place, you know, I'm not really worth that, this is better than me, I'm not going to allow myself to be a victim, or anything like that. But the simple truth of the matter is, what I'm seeing in this reading is that there were a lot of you that were kind of running yourself into a lot of sort of brick walls in life. And the reason why you were running yourself into these brick walls is because you were in self-sabotage mode. You weren't, you know, facing your past, your stuff, your triggers, you know, the things that, that don't really serve you really well. You know, those sort of subconscious mind beliefs and values about your own value and your own worth. There was a whole lot of sort of barriers around that. For many of you were running for probably most of your life, because, you know, some of you didn't even know what you were running, you know, towards, and what you were running away from. But there was a moment of clarity that came in here, and it's almost like for some of you, went like, oh, you know, it's not actually as bad as I, you know, as I always thought, as I always feared, sort of thing, you know. And in a sense, you sort of standing in this space right now where there's so many possibilities, you know, because it's so freeing when we sort of leave that past behind that holds us back, you know. It's so freeing when we allow that, you know, sort of life to just flow through us. And when you get something that is maybe uncomfortable, that doesn't sit so well with you, instead of holding on to that, you sort of let it flow through as well. So I am unhappy, I am sad, I am disappointed, I'm hurt, feeling those kind of things, not having that sort of very pie in the sky sort of thing about, I shouldn't be feeling my emotions, and, I should reach for a higher feeling thought, and those things don't work. I wish I could just get everybody to understand that, okay, let me just rephrase that before I get a whole lot of, slap back from this. But what I mean is that you want to obviously reach for a better feeling thought and a higher vibration and all those type of things. But what I'm talking about is that, this is what I sense that for your energy, that you really realize that you can't try to run away from the actuality of life. If you're going to play the game of life, you got to play the game of life by the rules of life. You can't go with what suits you and what doesn't suit you. You can just say like, oh, it doesn't suit me, I'm just going to pretend that it's not there, and because I pretend it's not there, it's not going to be there. It's going to be like, oh no, I'm over here, and it's going to find ways to remind you of that. So I feel that you've got quite a clarity about life, and it's quite infectious because people are noticing it, whether you actually realize this or not. You might start getting kind of like compliments and positive comments and things your way, where I feel even at work, people might be giving you projects that they may not have given you before. In relationships, there's second chances on the table here for you. There's a lot of possibilities on the table here for you, and you're in the space where you can receive. Now you want to be very careful of you're sort of going through the tunnel at the moment, and you're moving towards the light. But for many of you, you're not through the tunnel yet. You're in the process of moving through the tunnel. So you want to be also careful, because sometimes our sort of our patterns, they kind of want to come back again. So you want to be careful of that, and there might be feelings of I feel like, oh, this person, that I owe them that, and in 1994 they did this for me, and if you were born in 1994, but there's a sense of I have to, I must, I owe them this, I am the parent, I'm the child, I'm the friend, I'm the acquaintance, I used to work with them, there's nothing that you have to do. Your purpose in life is to live your life. It's to experience your life. It's to experience the magic of life and what your life could become. And so, and it keeps on coming up again and again for me, where they want me to remind you that there is a lot of self-sabotaging patterns that could be, it's almost like it keeps on wanting to come in again, It's, if you almost want to imagine that you are, say, I don't know, say like I live in Cape Town, for example, I live close to the ocean. So let's imagine that you've got one of these beautiful properties, and you've got this house that's sort of like on a hill, and it overlooks the ocean, and you've got a beautiful view, and and it's turning summer here now, so it's really, really beautiful, and it's really, really fantastic, and you've got everything that you need. But sort of downstairs at the gate, there's somebody who's ringing the buzzer, and you should not be letting this person in, because one way or the other, this is going to be drama, and it's going to be a very negative sort of drama. But then, so they're buzzing, and you're speaking across the intercom, and they're saying, let me in, I want to come in, I want to have, I want to, and there's all the sort of reasoning that's happening. And once you let that person in, one way or the other, this deal's going to go south. And it's, so this is sort of, in that analogy, that is sort of what I feel is happening, sort of in your thoughts right now. Maybe they're out there, they're sort of hooting the car, and it might not be the kindest thing to do, but you can't let them in. And if they're not going to leave, then you're going to have to phone the police or the security, or, whoever takes care of these sort of situations. And so for some of you, there are definite patterns that want to crawl back, and there could still be a bit of a self-sabotage going on here on your own end, where you kind of want to move back to it, but it is in it is in accepting that it is not your job in this world to save anyone. Not from themselves, not from the world, not from any of those things. That it's like a newer sort of consciousness is kind of coming out here for you. You are moving over to that next step, but there's a whole lot of mind chatter that is trying to hold you back. So my recommendation would be to not listen to that mind chatter, because there's quite a familiarity here with what it is that is, that is sort of boomeranging your success for you generally. And it is a very good thing to understand those things because, as I said, there's a lot of healing that was happening here for you. And so I feel that you've got quite a clear understanding of the things that are, sort of counterproductive to, to your sort of goal. And so this is a period of focus, really. This is a period of focus for you. I feel that for many of you, you've got your priorities very straightened out already. It's just that everybody doesn't necessarily agree with these priorities. But then again, when you come from your heart space and when you come from the greatest good of all, then, as long as you know that your focus is, the most positive you can do. I'm pretty sure that some of you may have heard this before because I have said this before, but when I was very, very young, I once read an article, I think I was like 8 or 9 years old, which is a long time ago because I'm 38 and a half now. It said that even when you don't know what to do, when you come from a point of love, you can't really make the wrong, decision because you're coming from that point of love. And when you're coming from a genuine point of love, I feel this is how things are moving through for you because there is this period of rebirth, this sort of like, period of metamorphosis that you're going through. It's very much present for you at the moment, but I don't want you to get in a space where you become almost like lax and feel like, oh, I've done everything, because that is how your mind can fool you sometimes, because there is still more work to be done. There is still sort of like in the, the onion layer sort of like analogy, there are still some layers that need to be peeled here, for you. So the process itself is not fully done yet. There is still some, think of it almost like this. When you have a light, like on those knobs that you can sort of like turn up, and it becomes like bright, or you dim it more, a dimmer. Your light is, it's very soft still at the moment, it's not at full capacity. There's still more light going to come up, and as the light comes up, it's almost like, think of it almost like this, in the sense that you start seeing your life unfolding. This is like going into a room for the first time, and maybe there's very sort of like, impressive artwork, or, sculptures or whatever inside this room, whatever it is that really fascinates you, whatever your sort of hobby, or, whatever makes your heart smile. But so the light is still very soft, and you're not seeing the full effect of it. And so the light is gradually about to still be turned up more and more and more. So you're going to get to see some more of these beautiful things that actually, as I said, does make your heart smile. And so it's a perfect time to be in a space of wonder and appreciation and receptivity, but also just to let you know that there is a whole lot more still coming. There is still some work that needs to be done here. But there's if you think that for many ways, for those of you that life is improving, if you think things are beautiful now, they're about to become so much more amazing. All right, we're going to clarify for you just this rebirth card in what's coming towards you, as well as this healing card for your overall energy. Let's clarify the healing one first. Let's see what we got for your boom, 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 boom. All right, so overall energy. What do we have for Aries for November 2020, please? Woohoo, things are rocking. They say one more, okay. Things are rocking. R-O-C-K-I-N-G. You've got the world and the moon. So it's a lot of beautiful things coming, and whatever is, there's certain things in your mind that you're still sort of blind towards, that you're not seeing. There's blind spots, okay? And the blind spots are being highlighted for you. Okay, so as I said, you're in the process of becoming. Things are still about to get so much better if you stay with the process. Okay, now I want you to listen to the whole sentence. Things are about to get so much better when you stay with the process, because sometimes people just want to hear the good news and they don't want to hear the second part. Okay. And you've got the 3 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. Fantastic. new friendships, new families, new acquaintances that you make can actually serve you quite well, quite positively. There's a lot of help that is coming in for you, okay? And a lot of universal support and assistance. And clarifying for you this rebirth card, 10 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Cups, okay? So, yeah, again, 10 and 10, okay? Cycles are still ending, things are still being wrapped up, everything is not done. So if you were still worried about certain things, especially with money, with, you know, things that you need in life, if you may be a student, you need some textbooks, or you're concerned about your tuition or those type of things, you know, even at work, if it comes to promotions, you know, you might feel that the ship has sailed, but I think there are still some truths that are, you know, about to come to light. All the cards, if you literally want to call it that, you know, all the cards are not on the table yet. There's still some there's still some things that are about to come to light. Okay, we're going to see for you with a Moonology card. One came out for you at the bottom of the deck. Oh, look at this, full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. Okay, didn't we just say that? The answers you need are coming. The clarity you want is coming. And then let's just see what we have for you as well. It says adjustments are required. Okay. Remember, as you were speaking about that, you know, staying with the mindset, not getting lax now, knowing that the process is still in the process of becoming. All right. So that's what I've got for you for November 2020, Aries. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your love, and your light. Thank you for your support. Remember, you're more than welcome to subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the readings are coming up. And I wish you the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful month of your life. Namaste.